Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I am your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop, and it's time to go back to the theater. And this weekend marks the release of the newest Marvel film to hit theaters, and it's gonna bring a little love, and it's gonna bring a little thunder. My review of the 2022 action sci-fi film, Thor: Love and Thunder, coming up now. When a new threat to the universe known as Gore the God Butcher goes on a slaying spree, Thor steps into action to try and save his fellow gods and himself before the Butcher strikes again. Meanwhile, Thor discovers that his old love, Jane Foster, has somehow gained the powers of Thor as well, and is able to wield Mjolnir, Thor's hammer. When the children of New Asgard are kidnapped by Gore, Thor and Jane team up, along with Valkyrie and Korg, to find the kids and stop Gore before it's too late, and he makes his ultimate wish. So what did I think of Thor: Love and Thunder? I thought it's a passable superhero sequel. It's directed by Taika Waititi, who's known for his films Eagle vs. Shark, What We Do in the Shadows, Hunt for the Wilder People, Jojo Rabbit, and of course, Thor Ragnarok. Ragnarok really brought a new take on the Thor character with a more comedic side to him, and I've loved the character more ever since, and he has become my new favorite of the MCU. I was, however, a little cautious, as I thought Ragnarok was quite joke-heavy, but thankfully most of those jokes landed. But if you thought Ragnarok had too much comedy, brace yourself, because this is probably 10 times as much comedy here, and unfortunately, my biggest problem is it overdoes it way too much on the jokes, especially in the first half. Some of these rapid-fire jokes are funny, and I did get 5 or 6 good laugh-out-loud moments, but some just don't land. In fact, the packed crowd I saw it with were mostly silent. There's also a number of ongoing gags that, while it's funny 1 or 2 times, it gets a little stale by the 6th. There's some fantastic-looking cinematography here, with a few highlights being when the heroes travel to the Shadow Realm and some cool black and white effects are utilized. There's also some incredibly creepy shots of Gore that I loved that looked like something straight out of a horror film. I enjoyed the action sequences and battles, which are all rather exciting. This is also the MCU's first attempt at a romantic comedy of sorts, bringing in bits and pieces from the genre, and Thor and Jane's chemistry is still likable. Jane's plot of gaining the powers is pretty intriguing, as we see how and why she gains them, and I enjoyed what they did with her story. There's also some pretty interesting choices made throughout the film as a whole. Christian Bale's a standout here as Gore, and I really wished he was featured more than he is in the final product. The Guardians of the Galaxy do stop by, as expected, and it's pretty much a 10-minute cameo in the beginning of the film, which is understandable, but selfishly I would have liked a little more of them as well. The film can get pretty heavy emotionally at times, as it deals with some tough subjects. The pacing seems off a bit in the first half, but thankfully it finds its footing in the second. The soundtrack is rockin' and is very Guns N' Roses heavy, featuring 4 of their hits, which are placed well in their scenes. There's also 2 after-credit scenes to stick around for, the first which sets up something that could be pretty awesome. Chris Hemsworth reprises his role as Thor, the Avenger and former King of Asgard trying to figure out his purpose. Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, the astrophysicist and Thor's ex-girlfriend who becomes the mighty Thor. Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher, the galactic killer looking for revenge on the gods with his powerful sword. Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, the powerful warrior and king of New Asgard. Taika Waititi himself as Korg, the gladiator and Thor's friend. And Russell Crowe as Zeus, the king of the Olympians. Thor: Love and Thunder isn't the most epic of his adventures, but it's still a sometimes visually beautiful, fun, and exciting ride. Number-wise, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, which gives it the A-list rating of do it.
All right, well, that's the show. I'll be back with another review very soon. But until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. YouTube.com/Westside of 515. Like the show on Facebook, Facebook.com/WestTroopaList. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at WestAList. Until next time, Troop out.